Hi there. As many of you know, I have long advocated the carriage of some kind of flashlight for daily use, and I've written numerous posts on the forum about this, and also in this review series I've reviewed some flashlights. Today I want to talk about the Olite, which I recently bought. One of the guys from the Gutterfighters, Simon, owned one, and I was quite taken with it, so I sent away for one and have been sort of playing with it for a little bit since then. Now, the rationale for me is that anybody who is involved in frontline security or works for the emergency services should have some sort of flashlight on them. To me, that's no argument. For anyone else, it still can be a very, very useful thing. But the majority of people don't really want to invest a great deal of money in a flashlight. It's something that they may understand they have a need for in theory or in the abstract, but haven't really given it a great deal of thought. And when they see the price of some flashlights, it might put them off. The good news is that the Olite is quite inexpensive. It cost me less than £20, including postage for the one I'm using. So for that, it fits the purpose for, I would say, for most people. Now, what it doesn't do is replace an actual tactical flashlight. One of the articles I wrote on the forum was about the shoot light, and I went into the rationale and thinking behind that. And not just for in coordination with a handgun, but for just self-protection if you're walking through a dark and possibly dodgy area. Now, the old dark lantern technique from sort of medieval times comes into it, where if you're suddenly surprised by somebody and you have your flashlight in your hand, you can illuminate them, dazzle them, put them off, make them a bit defensive for a second or two, and assess them. And if they're not a threat, you can apologize and move on. If they are a threat, you can then access a weapon or beat feet or whatever. That's one of the main uses for a tactical flashlight. So really what it needs is the blinding beam to be the first thing that you can access. Whether it's got different modes or whatever, it should be able to be carried with the maximum beam available at the first push of the button. And with this Olite, that's not what happens. Your first press of the button gives you the minimum, which is quite a low output, about 50 I think it is, and then a second push gives you the maximum, which is 180, which is a decent illumination. But for general tasks, that's fine, and there's no problem with that. If the switching had been reversed so that the first press gives you maximum and the second press gives you the lower level, then you could include it as being a tactical flashlight, but it's a task light. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, and the kind of accepted belief is that you should carry a backup light. So even if you have a tactical flashlight, you want one that's less bright for more routine tasks, because sometimes you can have too much light. You can get reflections and so on, which makes it hard to use the flashlight. So sometimes you want a lower level flashlight, and this flashlight, this Olite, certainly fits the bill for that. So let's compare the Olite to a couple of the other flashlights. Now my everyday carry flashlight, the Phoenix or Phoenix L2D, which I've been carrying for many years, gives the low output is 11 and the high output is 100 lumens, and it takes 2 batteries, so it's approximately twice the size of the Olite. Great flashlight, as I've been carrying it. It's also a task light, it's not a tactical flashlight, and it has a strobe functions and things like that. I like it a lot, and as I say, it's my everyday carry. The other flashlight, which you'll see in the picture, is my Surefire E2E Executive, and I always take that overseas with me. It's in my Galco belt pack. When I fly, it fits in there. I use it on the range, particularly if we're doing a low light course. I have a red filter on it, so I can see what the guys are doing without disturbing the night vision and so on. It's a terrific flashlight. You can see the size comparison. It's bigger than the Olite. It ideally fits my hand. It's compact, but it's not too small. I did have the E1, which is the single battery one, but I gave it away because it was too small really for my hand. Didn't really fit the bill. That is a mere 60 lumens. Now, in preparation for this review, I looked up the current price of the Surefire, and second hand it was listed at $300. It's become a bit of a rarity. It's a brilliant flashlight, very well made and so on. So I'll be certainly keeping hold of mine. But that just gives you a comparison of the different outputs and the different sizes of some typical flashlights. Carrying the Olite, I carry it by using the O-ring, and it has a clip, as you can see here, you've probably seen in the picture. Fairly decent clip, good spring to it. Goes on the pocket, and it's pretty unobtrusive, but you can access it via the O-ring, which you have to get yourself by them. So that's one option. If you were to carry it in a pouch, and just in my box of tricks I found this aftermarket pouch from Clarus, and the Olite will drop into it without any problem, but it's a little bit big and it would disappear. So what I did is I put a spare battery in there. So got a spare battery, pop it in, and then put the Olite in, and if you want to carry it on your belt, if that's your option, then you can do it that way. But with it being a compact flashlight, a lot of people would probably want to carry it in a shirt pocket, in a woman's handbag or purse, this kind of thing, on a keychain, for example, and you can. It's small, and that's part of its raison d'etre. It's small enough to do that. You don't need to carry it in a pouch. However, if that's what you prefer, you can do that. And I'm sure there are pouches that are made specifically for it. I would like a Kydex pouch for it, but I haven't seen any listed. It's a 15mm body with no extra size head, so it's parallel, and it's quite easy to find kit for. One thing, mentioning batteries, I would recommend that you use high quality batteries, lithiums, rather than cheap pound shop batteries. They're okay to put in your TV remote, but for your flashlight, really spend the money and get the decent batteries. So all in all, I'm very pleased with the Olite. It comes in 3 different colours, and as I say, less than £20. It certainly is something that I will be carrying. I've been carrying it around for a week now that the weather's a bit better, carrying it in my pocket. I don't know if it's totally going to replace the Fenix, but I certainly will be carrying it quite a bit over the coming weeks. So there you have it.